And I'll put it on Facebook. Hi, everybody. Bear with us as I'm also putting this on Facebook, and then we'll get started. All right, room is starting to fill up. Hi, everyone. Just we're gonna wait for 1 or 2 more minutes for people to join in, and also posting it going live on Facebook as well, so it's also saved there. While we're waiting, feel free to let us know if you can hear us all right and see us well. And we'll get started in a minute. Great. Thanks, Karen. Happy to hear. Okay. Almost done with setting up Facebook as well. And I'm also going to start. Hope you're doing well too. Hi, Sandy. Okay. Of course, Facebook changed their setup features.
Were you able to do it? Should we wait another couple of minutes?
Yeah, I'm just it's now publishing, and then we can start.
Okay, I can see it now. It's live on Facebook as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, it's great to see everybody here and on Facebook as well. And today, as you probably know, we're going to talk about the Ribbet browser app, some of the changes, just some basic tips on how you can use it, and we also have a Q&A as part of this. So feel free to list your questions in the Q&A section, and we'll get to as many as we can in the latter section of this webinar. Somebody's asking Laura, what are you sitting next to? I think it's the
the door.
door.
It's a door with, I think it has some sort of bug design on it, the window.
Yeah. So Laura is joining us for the first time for one of those webinars. She's the product owner for Ribbet, and today she's going to talk about the app, the beta app, where it's at right now, what you can do with it, and of course answer all of your questions about what's coming next as well. Laura, feel free to introduce yourself and share your screen when you're ready.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Laura. I'm the product owner for Ribbet. And as you probably know, we launched a new beta version of Ribbet online, the online version at the end of December. And while we're still working on it, we did want to share with you some of the things that are different in this version, and also some of the cool new things you can probably do with it already. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So this is the homepage of Ribbet. I'm guessing you know how to get here, but basically you just go to ribbet.com. I'll just very quickly do it, and you go to online beta, and you get here. So a few things you can do here. You can start editing. You see your recent projects, and you can also start a new collage. And for the start editing section, again, there's a few ways of how you can start editing your photos. One of them is just drag and dropping your images here, but then you can also import from any of your social media accounts or cloud storage. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to grab some photos that I have on my computer and just add them here. So I basically just grab them, drag them to this home page, and right now you can see them uploading. Most of them are of my kids or of the things that I bake at home. So that's about the theme today. Um, so once you have your photos here, once they've uploaded, you can do some quick edits to them. So if we look over them, you can probably see that some of them need some editing. So let's see. This one for sure is too dark. So what you have to do to start editing, you just double click on it. It's going to open in a new tab. So you can start making changes to it while you don't lose your place here where you are. So if you want to do some quick edits to multiple photos, you can just basically open them in, this one's dark as well. So I might want to edit this one too. You can open them in separate tabs. So here, let's see. I probably want to tweak a bit the exposure to make it lighter and just play with some contrast and colors to make it a bit more vibrant. So I'm much happier with how it looked right now. So that's the case. Every edit that you make right now in this new version applies automatically. You don't have to press any apply button or do anything to it. And also, as you can see, it says here all changes saved. The project itself saves automatically. If you want to download it, we have the save button here. So, you can pick your image format. I'm gonna keep it JPEG. You can set up your resolution if you want to change it. I'm gonna keep it the same. And you can give it a name. So it's jumping on hay days, right? And download, and that's it. I don't think you can see the image I opened, but it's an export of the one I have here. So if I'm done with this one, I'm gonna close it and move on to the next one that I opened. And I can do pretty much the same thing here. Just make some edits to it so it looks a bit better. Great. Obviously, we have all the other tools. You can go ahead and apply some effects. And there's a few changes to how effects work as well. These ones are also applied automatically. So say I want to do vignette, right? Um, I leave it like this, and then I can go and say apply some touch-ups, although I don't think this one necessarily needs touch-ups, but for the sake of it, let's do it. I can apply some touch-ups as well. Quick tip here, if you want to move your canvas while you're in the touch-up tool, because you have the brush on, what you can do is hold down the space bar, and then you can just move around. Well, then you let go and you're back into your in the touch-up. All right. So zooming back out. Yeah, I'm not crazy how it looks. So I'm just gonna remove the touch-up. Just click on original and it removes all touch-ups. And I'll probably just go back to effects and let's see, maybe do something a bit more. Right. So it says here change depending to save, but if I click on save or home, it saves it immediately and I can download the image. Um, since we're here, actually, right now, if I go back to effects, you probably noticed, if I click on another effect, it removes the previous one and it applies the new one I've picked. So this allows you to basically change your mind if you're not happy with how an effect looks on your image. But if you do want to apply multiple effects at the same time, we have this button here. It's called Apply Effect. And what it does is basically it flattens the effect into the image. So when you click it, now it becomes, the effect becomes part of the image. So you can apply another one. So say I want to put Los Angeles, you'll see that right now it applied it on top of Greek Islands. So, if you want to stack effects on top of each other, this is basically how you do it. Some other things that we have made slightly different is the collages. So we have some example of grids here on the homepage that you can just click on, and then it will open the project for you. But you can change the grid here. So I like the jigsaw ones, actually. I find they're a bit more fun. So, you can click through them and see one that you like. And when you're ready to add photos to it, all you have to do is click on a cell, and you can go to your library. Oh, hold on.
Somebody's asking about what you were previously showing with effects. Rather than click to go back to original photo, is there a step back button to remove only one or two effects if you've applied multiple?
We have, so if I go back to the previous project, bear with me 1 second. If I go in and apply an effect, so I say boost, I have this undo button here you can step back or you can redo if you want to step forward. You can do this as well. And also in the case of touch-ups, let's say I want to do a touch-up, I'll do something that's not very pretty just to show you. But basically you apply a couple of touch-ups and then you can use the undo button to, you'll see that it removed just the last stroke. So it removes them as you go back. So back to my collage project. You click on a cell and it shows you your photo library. The photo library, you can also access it from the side menu here. And it shows you all the photos that you've uploaded previously to Ribbet, and you can go through them. Initially, it shows you 6 of them. You can click more, and then you can just, you see more of them. You can navigate through them. So let's say I want to, you just need to drag some photos in here, to add them. Let me add a few photos here. Let's see. And this one. So now, these ones, you have a few options to edit your photos here, like you need to flip, and you can even click delete to remove one. But if you just want to swap it for another image, all you have to do is just drag another image in its place. I kind of like this one. I'll leave this one in here. So with a collage, you can go back to the grid and adjust it. So you can adjust the spacing in between the cells. You can give it a bit of a rounded corner if you want. But also you can still edit your photos individually. So if you want to, let's say, give it a more unified look, you feel maybe they need adjustments of any kind, you just click on a photo and you go and start editing it. I can make it a bit more vibrant, let's say. Have a very bright collage.
Somebody was also asking earlier if images can be imported from Flickr.
At the moment, no. We did have that option. We do have it in the desktop version, and we do plan on adding it back. But at the moment, that's not the case here.
Okay. I think is it still available on the mobile app? I think so, right?
Yes. Yeah. So with the collages, you can go in and apply effects as well to individual images. Right. So let's say I want to make this one like this. Or, You can just leave them as they are. I can put them like this. So this one actually, let me make it a bit nice. Actually, quite like the version. I'll leave it like that. So if you're done editing, and let's say you want to perform some edits to your project as a single image, so you don't have to click on a separate image to edit it. What you can do is you can use this button here called Flatten All. And what this does is takes all of your photos and everything you've done to them and turns them into a single image. So this one takes a little bit. All right, there you go. So now you can see I can move the images anymore. And if I go and apply any edits, it affects the entire collage, basically. And I can go and apply effects or you know. You can also add text to it. So for example, I want to see here a whole picking. Um, let's put it here. I'll change the font. I think this one's more fun. And I can add a drop shadow so it's a bit more visible. There we go. I'll put it right here. And if you want to make the text part of the photo as well, you can just use the flatten button once more, and now the text becomes part of the image. I can click on it and I can't move it anymore. I've just added another text by accident. So leave it. All right. And we've added a couple more features that I think allows you to be a bit more, have more fun and be a bit more creative. One of them is you can start a new canvas, a blank canvas, for example. It's white originally, but you can change the color if you want to. You can make it transparent. I'll leave it white for the moment. And you can go to your library section and just add some photos in it. So I'll drag this one here. And now you can use these little circles to resize it. But a cool and kind of hidden feature here is that if you hold down your control key on Windows or command key or Mac, you can really change the size and the aspect ratio of it without distorting the image. So I'll put it like this. And let's see, I'll apply some effects to this one. There we go. And I'll put some text in. Let's change the color. And take this one. Actually, I'll put another text down here. And I'll make it black also. And same font. And I'll make it a bit smaller. And move it. So it's a bit like it can be similar to like a Polaroid image.
Somebody's also asking if you can still change the application background from black to white.
At the moment, no, but we are working on a light version of it that's going to have the same UI, but it will be basically white as a white background, and all the elements, all the menus will be white as well. I think that the dark one works well for, if it's nighttime, but during the day, I prefer a light background too, or a light UI.
And somebody else is asking, how do you print? I guess, how do you print your finished photos if you want to?
So one simple way of doing it is just you save, you download your photo, and then you.
And you want to make sure that you download it in high enough quality, and maybe
Yeah.
as a format instead of JPEG, maybe something like PDF is better for print.
Yeah, I don't think we have the PDF option. Oh yes, we do. Sorry. Yeah. Right. So let me give it a name. and then download it. And I download it as a PDF, and yeah, you can see it here. It's high quality, and you just have the print icon. Some other things that we've added are,
Can you still hear me, Laura?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think it got stuck for a minute.
Oh, so another thing that we have added, and I like quite a lot, is the ability to search for stock photos. So for example, let's say I want to do something a bit more fun with my photos, and I want to put them inside a, oh, this one's nice, inside some existing photo frames. So you start a project based on like an existing stock image. And then what you can do is, for example, you might want to just replace the images here with yours. So same thing, you just align it properly and you hold down the control or command key, and you can just resize it so it fits the area that you want it to fit. Yeah. Let me add a couple more. Let's see. I'll add this one here.
While you're doing that, I'll answer a quick question. Sandra is asking if we have video tutorials available, and this is kind of what part of what the webinars are meant to do, to show you around. So this is one of it, but we plan to keep making more of them and making them more themed for specific features. We actually have other webinars that were done for the previous version of Ribbet last year, that are available on YouTube, and we're also going to start uploading all of them to our blog. So yeah, this year we do want to put more tutorial style content on the Ribbit blog and the YouTube channel, and record more of those types of webinars. And for smaller tips and asking questions, we also have the communities on Facebook, the Ribbit Ed community that's open to everybody, and the Ribbit Design Corner community that's open to Ribbit Premium users. And you'll find a lot of people are sharing a lot of their groups as well. So that's also a good place to ask questions or get inspired by what other people are also doing.
Yes. Right. So here, if you want to change the position of the photo within this area that it occupies, you have to double click on it, and then you can either move it, or you can use these corners to resize it. You just click outside and it stays there. So here, I definitely probably want to apply the same effect to all of them, just so that they look more unified. They look like they're part of the same photo. So this is it. I think it's quite a neat collage. So I can save it again. And I'll save it as PNG, this one. And you can use this sort of feature for a lot of different other things. So for example, let's say I want to see, I don't know, how one of my the photos of my the things I bake look in a cookbook. Right, so I'm going to search for a cookbook photo here, and let's pick this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab one of my photos. Let's see. I'll take these cupcakes. So you can resize it, and okay, yeah, it will look pretty, right? Can even tweak a bit the
Laura,
yeah.
are
Can
you
you
still
hear
there?
me? Yeah. Hello. Hello. Papa,
Uh,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can now. Yeah, you got disconnected for a bit. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah. Also, something that I wanted to bring up, because this is a new feature. The one where you can now quickly import stock photos without having to leave Ribbit. So this wasn't previously available. It's one of the cool things that you can now do directly from the app. So you don't have to look for stock photos outside of the app if you don't want to. You can just import right away doing a quick search.
Yeah. And you don't have to go to start a new project to do it. Like, for example, if I want a photo of a pie put here to see how it looks, you have this stock area here on the menu. So you just click here and you can see some photos and like, for example, this one looks good. So I'll just drop it in. Hold on. Let me replace it. Yep. So here you go. And this is a stock photo that you can use. So they're accessible from here, and they're also accessible from when you start a new project. You just click here and you go to library, and it's the first tab that you see selected, where you can search for some stock photos. And I really like this feature where you can just use stock photos and see how your own photos would look like. For example, you can look for a photo frame and see how your own photos would look if you frame them and put them on a wall. So, go here and I'll pick this one again because I kind of like it.
And also relevant to people who are actually maybe here and create their own sort of artworks that they then sell. You can use Ribbit very easily to create, like product photos and help people visualize what your artwork is going to look if they buy it from you.
Yeah, that's right. So if you do any sort of illustrations or um, anything creative that you want to have some thumbnails or showcases for your store, something like this I think would be very practical. So here I put up my photo in. I think it looks a bit too bright, so I'm just gonna go and edit it. So I have to click on it so I can apply the effect to it. So let's see. I actually like this effect. It's called Fancy Focus, and it gives a really nice look to the image. It's a bit more toned down, I think, so it looks better when framed. And if you like the setup and you don't want to go through the trouble of setting everything up every single time, another thing you can do is just go here, duplicate a project, and what it's going to do, it's going to create a copy of your project. So you have this set up and you want to see how this looks with a different photo, you just drag another photo in. And that's it. So I think this is practical. I think for one single photo, maybe it's not so much work, but if you want to start, create your own collage, your own grid. You don't. We want something more creative than what we offer. You can just start with a blank canvas, for example, and start adding your photos and creating your own grid. So let's see. Okay, I'm just going to drag them in place, however I like here. There we go. I'll add a couple more. Let's see. Okay, and maybe this one.
In the context of collage, somebody's also asking if it's possible to make a collage in the shape of a number,
No, not at the
for
moment.
example, to use for like a 40-year anniversary.
Yeah, not at the moment. No. You can probably think of some ways how you can achieve that. But for now, all you can do is basically just drag in photos and arrange them however you want. We do have some creative, let's say, shapes here, but no, I think in shape of a number, not yet. So let's go back. Let maybe I'll adjust the canvas color a little bit. Let's make it. There we go. And again, you can edit any photo in here, um, and still swap them if you want to use some different photos. For example, this one maybe it's a bit too bright. I want to use something a bit more toned down. I can switch it around. I find this is very practical. It's very easy to create your own collage shapes or your own setups, and then you just save it and duplicate the project anytime you need and you want to replace the images. Um, oh, we have, you can apply all sorts of things to your images. We have the effects. You also have a bunch of overlays. And the overlays work the same as the effects. So for example, you can click through them and see how they look. And if you leave them there, they stay on the image. You don't need to save or apply anything. But if you change your mind and you want to switch it around, you just click on something else or go back to the original if you want to remove it entirely. Um,
Somebody's also asking, can you change the color and size dimensions of a blank canvas after you started editing without starting over?
yes. So if you have a blank canvas, if you want to change just the color of the canvas itself, you go here and you have this option in adjust called canvas color. So this is basically how you change the color, the size, the color. And for size, you go here in resize, and let's say we want to have it 1500 by 1500. So we're going to apply it, and you see that the size change here because it's still square. Um, you don't see necessarily that it changed, but you can see up here that it's different. Let's try and see where we don't keep proportions and we have 1500 by say 1200. So you see it changed the proportions now as well. And the images, we do the best to fill the new canvas size. But you obviously might want to adjust it. Right now, I think it looks good with the way that it automatically scaled. And you can do the same for collages. So for example, if you want to start, you start a collage from here, by default it's square. But let me pick, for example, this one, right? So it's 3000 by 3000. But if you go to resize, you can make it 3000 by 2500, for example. So it's more stretched, or the other way around, you can make it 3000 by 3500. So, oh yeah, you can just all right, I got it right this time. So you can adjust the size and the aspect ratio from here. You can also do that when you let me drag some photos in here so we can see how it looks. Um, these are my mini donuts that I've made a while ago. This is a cinnamon bun. So here, when you save the project, you can also pick the resolution that you want to
Oh,
save it. But here,
while we're there, because I think it's connected to some a question that somebody's asking. It's saying, Linda saying, I love the collage, but sometimes printing doesn't work well with standard sizing. Is there a place that shows the size in inches, not pixels?
yeah, here you have pixels.
Have that, yeah. Just use that drop down, and you can select, yeah.
centimeters or inches, and you can select the size in you can set the size in inches, for example. So let's say you wanted 5 inches by 6.
Yeah, and you can also just make sure that the quality is as high as possible when you're selecting it. And something that when I've worked with printing companies, they've asked me, or they've told me that they prefer PDFs instead of JPEGs because I think that depending on the printer, it might print better that way. So something to keep in mind. You can also save it instead of JPEG. Try saving it as a PDF.
Yeah, I think for printing PDF, it's usually the best format because it doesn't depend on the printer settings or any of the custom software that they use. Another thing you can do is, for example, this works best, I think, if you have like a single image. So I'm going to go back to my image library and pick, I don't know, this picture of my cake. So if you go here and you go to crop, you have all these presets here. You have social media and you have some print presets as well. So for example, 4:6. We'll just do it like this. Um, and right now this is only available in crop, but we do plan on making it available, making the presets available for resizing. So you have some easy guides. You don't have to figure out, especially for print sizes, what the size itself in centimeters or in inches. Another thing is that for crop, for example, if you have a custom ratio and you know the custom ratio, you can use it. So let's say 4:6.
And here, while you have that open, because somebody's asking, are there templates to create and save background picture in proper proportion for Facebook page and other social media background/header pages? So that's, you have those right there in the social media. You have the square format, which is for Instagram. You have the Instagram portrait, Instagram story, YouTube thumbnail, YouTube cover, etc. So yes, you have those available there.
Facebook as well for Twitter, Etsy banners, and so on, Pinterest posts. We try to cover the most common social media formats that you can have. And obviously the square, I think, works very well for a lot of social media nowadays. So popular like this. Mm, There, there.
I don't know. Do we also have one for blog headers, a custom
So
size?
we have, so I, for a blog header, not necessarily, but I think that if you use maybe something like a YouTube cover or a Facebook cover.
Or yeah, or you can also just make it custom size. If your blog has a specific size that you don't find here, you can also just put in the custom size there and make it that way.
Put it here in pixels. And again, sometimes if you know the ratio, I think this works also for print, but even from social media, nowadays they provide not just the size in pixels, but the aspect ratio. So if you know the aspect ratio, you can just put it in here. So let's say 4:16, which is actually the other way around. So you can click this icon to flip it around as well, if you put it, if you want it horizontal instead of vertical, for example.
Somebody is asking if there's any way to increase the size of the text in the editor itself. Um, I'm guessing there's not an option in the app to do that, but what I can probably recommend is that you can actually adjust the resolution settings of your screen,
Yeah,
and then that'll make the editor bigger as well. So if you're struggling to see the text, there is a way to change that. It's just, yeah, you see, you can zoom into your screen, and there's even a shortcut on that for web, which is Control plus on Windows and probably Command plus on Mac.
so Command plus and Command minus adjust the size of the UI. And it's specific to this app that you're using at the moment, but you can also save those settings in your browser. So by default, let's say you want everything to be 120% of their original size, you can set your browser to do that, and it will affect all the web pages that you visit. So I will switch back to the original. Um, I think because let me see. Yeah, I'm at 100% now. Oh, there we go. Um, okay. So you can see your projects here. This is where you have your recent projects. You can go to My Creations to see all of your old projects. You can click on them and you have to double click so they open, but you can open them anytime and continue editing from where you left off. So for example, here, if you want to add anything else or maybe some text, um, somewhere, let's say, you can do that from here. We also have a new feature that we didn't have before for text, which is curved text. So basically what you can do here is just, you know, get a bit more creative with the text as well. To give it a bit of a rotation. And you can use these options to make it all capital or lowercase or even like flip it upside down if you want to. Okay. Cool.
A few more questions came in. Let's take them one at a time. Somebody's asking, uh, are your originals saved after you are your originals? I'm not
Yes.
sure.
The original images will always they remain. So you have to go to image library, and here is where you find your original images, either that you've imported from social media, you've uploaded manually to Ribbet, but it's always the original unedited images that you have. And if you want to see the edited versions or the projects, you go to My Creations, and this is where you see, for example, this one, which was the one that I've edited.
And somebody else was asking, I think, a question that you already answered, which is there a way to shape text like a curve? And that's pretty much what you already showcased. So yes, there is now.
Oh, I really did it. Okay. So I'll put it here again. Let's give it a bit of a color, and you just have to click here. You have to check the box to enable it. And once it's enabled, you can expand this area to, um, edit it to see how curved you want it, the spacing between the letters, and so on. And reverse, it actually rotates it the other way around. All right. So like I said, you can edit these images independently because it was a separate image. Now that I've added to the project, you can still edit the background. So when this was clicked, if you go to any of the effects or overlays, um, see the overlay is actually applied under this image that I've added only because it gets applied on the background image. So I can go to this one and do something else. Anyway, I'll leave it. And same with touch-ups. You can You can apply the touch-ups. A little bit of, oh, so I have to select the image and now I can actually apply the touch-up to it. So let's do a bit of maybe shadow removal. And when you apply touch-ups to an image, you know which one is selected because the other one goes a bit transparent, so it's not distracting. You can apply and so like I said, when you leave the project, everything saves automatically. If it's not saved, actually, if you go in here and make some edits, and all right, let's make it a bit darker, and just close. You want to close it. It's still hold on. This one was already saved. Now I'll go back to it and let's see. I'll just again, right? So if I close it, it's going to warn me that I have changes that haven't been saved yet. Any other questions, Gautam, that have come in?
Yes, let's see. So one is quite simple. Can you add only text to a blank canvas to create your own word art images? Absolutely. Yes. Just start a blank canvas and you can just add text straight to it.
That's right. I'll change the color first so that it's visible. Yeah, and you can just pick font. And you can select change the size as well from here, but you can also just make it larger.
Somebody is also asking if you can delete the background of a picture. So here I'm guessing um,
Yeah,
background removal. Yeah.
yeah. It's not available yet. It's one of the features that we plan to add in the near future. And as like a quick preview, it will be available right here in the adjust menu.
Somebody's asking, will words wrap if you type a few sentences for the text box?
So you mean if I continue to type here,
Mm-hmm.
no, they don't wrap. You have to put in your own spaces.
Okay. Then of course you can resize it. All right. I'm trying to see if there are questions we haven't answered yet. If you have any other questions we haven't answered yet, please rewrite them so that it.
Hello, I think I lost you there for a second.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's asking, where is the frame icon on the left side?
The frame icon is not available yet. It's again one of those features that we do plan on releasing very soon. We're still working on adding them back.
And there's also a place where you can actually check the status of updates in real time. So when we make new updates, we now publish a quick overview of that on. Can you share the so people can also see it?
So here you have
The link where they're at.
what's new icon.
I think I'm having some connection issues.
Hello.
Yeah, I think I'm having some connection issues. I'm not sure why. Yeah. So it looks like you already opened it though. The
Yes,
what's new.
we have this what's new menu item right here on the main menu, and when you go to it, you see when every update has been made and a brief description of what was included in it.
Cool.
And as you can see, we've made we do make updates frequently, maybe once or twice every 2 weeks.
Somebody's asking, will you be adding freeform shapes to text edits? Maybe you know what that means.
Freeform shapes.
Oh,
To,
come on.
it's
My internet connection is horrible.
okay, you're still here. You're still with us. I'm not sure about what that means with freeform shapes to text edits. Like for example, being hello, hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch off my video because I think my internet, there's something wrong with my internet connection. Keeps dropping out every now and then. All right. Did you get my last question about freeform shapes?
Yes, I'm not sure that what that is referring to. So for text specifically, if we can get some more details, that would be good. Can probably answer it.
Cool. Yeah, for me too. I'm also not sure what it means. Uh, okay. Is there a quick way to toggle between the original and the edits you might make to see if you like what you have done?
No, not yet. Again, it's one of the features that we plan on adding back. The desktop version has it, where you have, before and after, like an option, and I think it's a frame probably. And we do plan on adding that as a specific option in the menu, so you can have a comparison of how your image looked before the edits and afterwards. And also, it would be nice if you can download them side by side. So we plan on doing that as well.
Yeah, and a quick question. Somebody was asking, well, what did you hit when you made the words move to the next line? Just enter. Just hit enter and yeah, then move to the next line.
Yeah, so you just hit enter and add a new line. What we do plan on doing with text, for example, is adding in the ability to upload your own fonts. We want to add that very soon also.
And another quick question. Somebody's asking, how do you center the words? You have that alignment on the right side.
Right here. So this one is left aligned, and this is how it looks if you want to center it or right align it.
And I think one question is, if I understand it correctly, if you can crop the images in a collage at the same time.
Well, you can. So once you start a collage, already these cells act like a sort of like prop area. So when you add items in them, so for example, this one, you can move them within it, and you can double click to resize it, and then move it again. So this effectively works as a crop tool, but allows you to keep moving your image around even after you've, let's say, crop it. So it doesn't cut out of the image just yet until you actually download it. Kata, you still there? Hello? Kata? Hello?
Okay, can you hear me? I got disconnected again. I don't know what's wrong with my internet tonight.
I don't know at which point we cut off. I can repeat a bit of what I was saying, just to be
But
sure.
I'm the one that's getting cut off. It sounds like everybody else can hear you. So yeah, no
Okay.
need to repeat. Um, yeah. People are commenting that they can hear you. So I think that there's some kind of connection issue on my side. Um, all right. Somebody was asking if essentially the changes that are being made to the browser app are also going to affect the desktop app, and the answer is no. The desktop app is separate from the browser app.
That's right. The desktop app is identical to the old version that we had in the browser also until December. And we do plan on keeping those for the people that got used to it and just prefer that UI to the new one at the moment.
And
Obviously, we'd be happy for everyone to try the new online version too.
yeah, of course. Um, and more explanation from the person who was asking about freeform text. What she meant was if in the future you'll be able to make curvy or wavy lines or to fall outside of an image. So right now you can make the text curvy. So I guess the question is, will in the future we be able to do more with the shapes of text?
It's not something that we have discussed or planned just yet. But obviously, if it's a popular feature that, we're open to adding it in the future. It's not on the roadmap at this very moment.
Cool. All right. I'm just checking if there is. Yeah. Okay. So a couple more things. Um, can you continue work on a finished product? Can you resume where you left off? Basically, I guess is the question.
Yes, exactly. So let's say this project, for example, I go home. So this one's saved. You have it here. You have it in your creations. Double click, and it opens it, and you can continue working on it. So you can go back and keep adding your photos to it. Again, you can come back. So say I add an effect now. I make this one sepia. I save, and I leave. I can again return to it and continue editing from here. I can even go back and if I'm not happy with this effect anymore, I can still change it even after I've saved it already. So once you have a project started, you can always go back and keep changing it.
And I think this will also be the last question because we're nearing the our hour. Somebody's saying if you save something to your desktop, will it save to the browser and vice versa? So I think they mean about like if you're using the, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but I'm guessing you mean if you save something on in the browser app, will it also be saved in the desktop app? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Yep. That's what.
Yeah. Yes, you have. So for example, if you have an account that has you,
I'm having connection issues again. Laura, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. I was saying that if you have projects that you've edited either with the previous version of Ribbet online or in the desktop app, you can find them in my creations. However, because the desktop and the online version are not working exactly the same, when you open a desktop project online, it will act as a single image. So you won't be able to pick up where you left off on the desktop version, but you will be able to add new edits to your image. You still there, Kata?
Yeah, it keeps disconnecting for me for some reason, but looks like everybody else can hear you.
All right. And do we have any other questions? I'm looking through them very quickly as well.
I think, and maybe this can be the last question: is there a way to unflatten an image?
Right after you do it, I think you can undo it. But once you save the project and you come back to it, no, you have to use it as a single image. So I think I flattened some of them. I'm not sure which one. Maybe this one. See, no, I didn't flatten this one. So it was some of the first ones with the collage that I flattened. But with flattening, a lot of things happen in the background where basically we're rendered as a single image. Because of that, okay, so now it's flattened, and now you can undo. So if you flatten it, you change your mind immediately. You can still go through the undo option and go back to having separate images.
All right. And One last thing that I'll answer is somebody said that she didn't realize there were desktop and a browser option. Is one better than the other, and is there a cost difference? Well, there's no cost difference, and the difference in functionality is essentially the desktop version is works exactly as the browser version worked previously. And in December of last year, we've launched the beta of the new browser version, which is the one you have now. So for people who enjoyed the other version of Ribbet or just want to use the functionality available there, you can always download that version, and there is no cost difference. If you're subscribed to one, you're subscribed to the other. You can use them on any platform you prefer.
You use the same Ribbet account to access Ribbet on all platforms. So either desktop online version or mobile apps, iOS, Android, even Fire tablet. You can access it with the same account. And at the moment, I think the biggest difference is that, like I said, the desktop version is identical to what we used to have in the browser up until December. And it does have, so the desktop version has some features that currently the online beta version doesn't have, like maybe frames or even some specific effects. But we do work on bringing them both to have the same type of features, and in the future the online version will have new features and new options.
All right. Well, that's our time. I see that Karen. I see that you asked a question that we didn't answer. I don't see that question. I've been trying to find it, but I don't see it. So anyway, we have to close the webinar now. But please send your question to us via email, and we'll answer it afterwards. And I'm sorry, I just don't see it in the chat. I think that there's just a lot of messages coming in, and I can't find it. Thank you, everybody, for participating in our intro session today. Like I said, this applies to everybody. If you still have unanswered questions, just email them to us, and we'll address as many of them as we can. Thank you for participating. The webinar is recorded, and we will follow up with the recording so you can rewatch it again if you want to. So thank you again, and have a great day.
Thanks,
And thanks,
everyone.
Laura, for joining us.
Thanks.
Goodbye.